played a key role. This time, for the very first time, we had this official confirmation from, a top officer where he is mentioning about the sort of planning and strategy that was in place, the role CDS and NSA played, and also the kind of success that we have received. Also, Air Force Chief was mentioning that how, what was the kind of intelligence that we had received, and in fact, on the basis of that intelligence, what were our preparations. So all of it was summarized in 1 hour speech by the Air Force Chief.
Thank you for breaking it down bit by bit for us, Akash. Thoroughly appreciate. And with that, let me now also bring in our esteemed guests. I'm joined in by retired Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey, who's a former GOC at 15 Corps of Indian Army. Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, retired former DG Infantry, Indian Army and security expert. Many thanks to you, gentlemen, for joining in. Lieutenant General Pandey, if I could begin with you. First of all, how do you assess what the Indian Air Force Chief has had to say at a very heated time when we are looking at politically on domestic shores and internationally as well?
We should not link this entire narration by the Air Force Chief with the political debate which is ensuing in our country. But yes, let's state Indian armed forces are pretty professional armed forces. Once they will come out with a statement, it will be after careful checks and balances, once it's been totally verified from various human, technical, intelligence parameters, everything has been checked, then only we'll come out into informing the general public or making a statement of this. So this is in concert and sync with the tradition which we have followed in the military to not release information which is absolutely not confirmed, because please understand that is where it comes related to your political discourse as well. Because even if there's an iota of a gap, he may tell 10 things right, but if 0.01, 0.5 thing is wrong, the people are going to focus on 0.15 rather than focusing on the 10 right stuff. The information has been already available by the world platforms, and people have been talking on these images, and they've been concluding this fact that these were the losses which the Pakistanis suffered in this Operation Sindoor, which was paused eventually on the request of Pakistanis. But the fact remains that today he's come out with a careful, analyzed data. And what I must also confirm to you that eventually much more, I really hope, much more details will come out as these things get verified through technical resources, intelligence resources, that damages were beyond what today the Air Force Chief has given out. Because as per the information which is available into the general environment, the damages which have been done are humongous. The second part we have to talk about is the psychological impact to not only to the Pakistani military, it is also to the public of Pakistan. With this statement coming out, and what has been happening otherwise in the social media domain and the international affair, is
that is why I questioned the timing, sir. And because given that questions were being raised even domestically, that why isn't India coming up with its own assessment, and that's why I think it's important we share a word with regards to the credibility of the Indian Air Force Chief's statement.
Yeah. So absolutely, while politically it does matter, but you imagine the psychological impact which is going to happen to the Pakistani people, that the military, they always thought where it was, it is reachable. The third is about the Chinese equipment. A lot of time people have talked about, even in Indian political context, or certain fringe element in the strategic community have been talking about infallibility or the technological advancement of the Chinese equipment, which was tested opposite Indian military in this Operation Sindoor. The downing, keeping it down for a particular period of time in which Indian military, Indian Air Force had a free time over the Pakistani airspace, firing out missiles, breaching the air defense wall, is a great success story for our defense industry, but also taking a call on what has happened to the Chinese equipment which was treated. So two contrasts which come out, telling to our own naysayers within our own country who were suspecting our capabilities in terms of defense industry or Atmanirbharta, etc., etc. has been put to test, and I think we have come out quite successfully.
Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, I want to quickly bring you in on the Atmanirbharta that has also come out in the Indian Air Force Chief's statement. Also, the entire clarity on planning, the autonomy of planning, that also stands out right now with regards to claims being made of foreign interferences.
Thank you, Akanksha. I'm sure the Air Chief made it very, very clear that there was no interference. They had full freedom and they planned it out extremely well. The result of that planning is where he stated very clearly that 5 of the Pakistani aircraft have been destroyed, and yet another element or an AWAC also at the range of 300 kilometers has been destroyed. He also spoke about how the S-400 had destroyed the Pakistani air bases. He also mentioned about how the terror strike, he also compared it with Balakot to say that exactly the same kind of damages have been done. And therefore, what he felt bad was that some people